Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt Roast.
And I'm Jessica Bun Bun.
This is our preview for Only Murders in the Building, Season 5, Episode 8. This episode is titled Cuckoo Chicks, and I think this one's going to be really, really fun for a couple of different reasons. Like, obviously, this title is in part a reference to Oliver being called Cuckoo Chick by Lester in his book, but then beyond all of that, it seems like we may actually be seeing a lot of the female characters around the Arconia all together for a change.
Yeah, which is going to be really exciting. I mean, there's a lot of female characters in the building that I'd like to see come together. Not enough Uma this season. We got more Ursula this season, which was really fun, but not enough Uma.
No, there hasn't been enough Uma. And don't get me wrong, like, I love watching Steve, Marty, and Selena, like our original trio, but at the same time, these writers just always surround Selena with a bunch of dudes. It's just like, even when you look around the Arconia, we've got obviously Howard, but then we've got Randall, a lot of the new faces that we learned about earlier this season. It just feels like the other female characters these days, with one notable exception, are a little bit few and far between.
Even the Westie Besties were mostly all dudes.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, we have a little bit of a new infusion of energy heading into this episode, but beyond all of that, though, there is the question of, okay, why are the female characters all coming together? Like, what does it actually mean for the case? Because I don't think this is just happening for no reason.
No.
All right, well, before we dive in and talk all about this, be sure to hit that subscribe button, because we will be here with an infusion of Only Murders in the Building energy 3 times a week. We have reviews, previews, and theories coming your guys' way. We are also in the midst of covering Gen V Season 2. And moving forward this month, we have It, Welcome to Derry on the way, and that's airing on HBO.
Absolutely. We have mystery, and more mystery coming up with It, Welcome to Derry. And if you're looking for another great mystery that's airing right now, that is Slow Horses. We have that exclusively over at our Patreon. It is the only place that you can get those weekly reviews. It is a 10 out of 10 season. It is so good to me. Best season they've had so far.
Wow.
So yeah, if you are interested in that, I'll leave a link for you below.
Thank you guys so much for your support over there. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to break down the synopsis for Cuckoo Chicks bit by bit here, but we'll start that Mabel is gathering a ragtag group to crash an exclusive ladies' night.
Yep. I mean, we gotta have Thee there. She has to be there.
Yeah, I feel like if we're sort of scouring for, okay, who is Mabel going to invite to this? Thee has to be number 1 at the top of the list. It's like you've clearly brought Beanie Feldstein in for an arc. We've seen her on a few occasions already.
Absolutely. And if it's like an exclusive ladies' night that they're crashing, to me, tinfoil hat, it's got to be Camila at this point. She's got the finger. They know what, there's a whole cliffhanger. They know what she's planning to do with the Arconia. So Mabel is probably looking to get together some women to be able to crash this ladies' night. And who better than to have a big influencer like Thee?
It's a great way to just sort of use her to get your foot in the door.
Right.
It seems like Thee is very interested in helping out. She seems like she's fascinated enough with the case that's going on. And I think we've all seen this from the entertainment industry at large, that there are these things that happen where it is, you know, insert big magazine here presents the Business Women Brunch of the Year gala, and you know, everybody shows up, there's a red carpet. Thee can introduce Mabel to that world, but I think beyond just Thee, who else is going to be a part of this? Like, I'm so curious.
It feels like at this point, because Camila wants to buy the building and wants to get everybody out of the building, it would make sense then for Mabel to get some other women in the building, like an Uma, if she could ever convince her to come and deal with this, to be like, okay, ladies, we all have places in this building and this is what is coming up. We're going to have to break into this like exclusive ladies' night and get together and try to convince Camila that we are not selling and that they cannot get their hands on these apartments. I know that Mabel is in a different situation because she's over with the Westie Besties and kind of what is going on over there, but Uma's not. She owns her apartment.
Yeah, and I just feel like Uma at this, let's just be honest, this would be the funniest thing of all time because these are a bunch of people who all probably hate people like Uma.
Yep.
She's just going to go over there, complain about the food. But I think at the same time, because Uma is so blunt, she
Hmm.
could actually say something that maybe disarms Camilla a little bit because Camilla, we know at this point, she has a very, very dark side, but she's obviously not going to want to show it. And I think that's a part of why Mabel is targeting this particular event because if you put her in a place where she kind of has her walls come crumbling down, like she might slip up, like you actually might get real evidence for the first time all season, really.
Yeah, you may be able to shake her because she is in a place where she doesn't want to look bad and she's got people watching her, people that she knows are around her, and she's trying to keep up airs. It's definitely a good place to shake the tree.
Yeah, now we've talked a little bit about our concerns that Only Murder settles too much into formulas, especially
Mhm.
this season. I will say my worst case fear right now is that episode 7 was the Bash episode, episode 8's going to be the Camilla episode, and then episode 9 is going to be the Jay episode. And
The reveal that it's Jay.
yeah, it's just like that's something we would all have seen over time
Right.
here, where it's like if Jay is actually the killer, can you reveal it at a different time? Or maybe you trick us up and have episode 9 be maybe that's the mayor episode, and then episode 10 is the finale, and that's the Jay episode.
Yeah, it does feel like this is where we're going because typically either episode 7 or episode 8 is when you get the episode of the person who is like the killer. You get like an overall arc, big, huge, in-depth story about them where you're kind of like, why are we getting a personal story about Marshall? I don't really
Yeah.
understand what's going on here. And then you're like, oh, it's because it's revealed in episode 10 that he's the killer. So episode 7, we got this big Marshall episode. So maybe they are switching it up a little bit here where we got the big Bash episode. Now we're going to get the big Camilla one.
Yeah.
And then 9 will be the big J, and they'll just reveal it all at the same time.
One other person who I feel like really needs to be at this ladies' night is where is Nina? We have not
I
seen
know,
her
right?
since like the second like who is running the building at the like she was
Howard, the
that's-
robot.
like that is the one of the biggest things that's so weird about this season is it just feels like any role that was occupied by a Bunny or a Nina, it's all just like directly been translated over to Howard. Like they don't have material for one other character.
Howard is going to be part of this ladies' night. I feel like he's going to be like, you know what, I'm coming.
I think there's a very good chance of that he's going to try it, but that's fine because we do
He
need,
likes to insert himself
Yes.
into crazy situations.
we just need somebody to kind of represent all of the people at the building at
Yep.
this point, and it's just having Uma or Ursula there, like that's a part of it. But I don't think if I'm living at the Arconia, I do not want Uma representing me. I'm sorry.
There has not been enough Howard this season. I'm just going to say it.
No.
Like, him and the robot is fine, but
Yeah.
he's so funny. And to have him just sort of relegated to running this robot around, it's been barely anything. He needs to be
Yeah.
part of this group, please.
Let's have that happen. Okay, so here's what's apparently happening with Charles and Oliver, that while they're trying to save the Arconia for being sold, they accidentally end up in couples therapy. And my first question is, how do you accidentally end up in couples therapy?
Yeah, I feel like there's got to be somebody that they're following that's a suspect. Maybe the mayor and his wife are having some sort of issue and they're following them somewhere and they end up in the couples therapy. That's what I think is going to end up happening, that they're following a suspect and it leads them there.
Yeah, and we did have a little bit of a drop of a therapist earlier this season.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess there is some sort of seed that's being planted here, but it's just that, okay, we all know that Steve and Marty are hilarious, and it's just as fun as I think this would be. I want it to have a larger purpose, and here's kind of what I think the show is going to try to express in this, and that they're going to stumble upon this therapy in a way in which you're suggesting, and I think while they're probably going to be able to air out their grievances. Charles is going to talk about how since Oliver's wedding, he's found that he's missing something in his heart. Oliver's probably going to talk about how he's trying to really figure out a home for himself and Loretta, and they can air out all of that dirty laundry.
I'm really hoping that they're going to dive deeper into something else, because if they're just repeating what they did last season already, because they've kind of already aired that out where, Oliver was getting married and Charles was really feeling left behind, and they've aired this out where they really talked it through, where Oliver's like, that's not happening. I'm not leaving you behind. Just because I'm getting married doesn't mean you and we're not going to still have a relationship. And they seemed like they were good.
Yeah.
So, like, we know that Charles is still having his own life crisis at this moment, trying to find himself. He just can't find his footing. That maybe it's going to be more about that the way that Charles is behaving and he's just unable to figure out who he is and what he's doing is going to be the thing that then Oliver might be able to help him through, to be like, okay, let's get your footing so that we can all just kind of go back to being friends.
Okay, well, here's really what I'm hoping for out of this storyline is just that it's going to be something where, amidst all the laughs, they're going to have some sort of personal revelation. But beyond that, it's going to be one of those revelations that causes a light bulb to go off in their head where it's just like, oh, I actually kind of realized there might be an emotional motive for these murders that happen. Because sometimes when you're figuring out something with yourself, or even doing something silly, like you've misplaced the recipe or the remote control, you figure it out. And then like something else gets cleared up in your mind as well.
Well, it also could be about the two of them and the Arconia, because the Arconia has been very important to both of them as well. You've got Oliver, who has this offer from Camila, of all people, but Charles has also been in this building a long time too, that he worked really hard to have a place there. Oliver had wanted to be there for a long time and found a way to actually get there as well. And the idea that it's just going to be turned into a casino, that's probably something that's going to tear both of them apart. They've both been in this building a long time.
Yeah.
And that has been a theme this season as well, of how important your home is and the place you make your home, and certain apartments that really stick with you, or certain houses that are really in your heart, to like lose that, the different things that have happened in there where you're, building a love, or you're, building yourself, or you have your first job, or all the different things that happen to you in your home. So I feel like because New York and the Arconia and all of these other things are big characters this season, it's not just about Lester or Nikki, which
Yeah.
seemingly have been kind of getting lost in the sauce this
Yes.
season, these murders. But the Arconia is its own character as well, and it is very much tied to Charles and Oliver in a very deep, meaningful way.
I just hope that in the midst of potentially mourning this place that they may lose. I mean, I think both Jess and I feel like that they're not actually going to be forced to leave the Arconia.
No, we're not going to have season 6 in a different building.
No, like that's just not going to happen. But I do worry that they're going to be so transfixed by this that they're not going to be able to really focus on things the right way. And I'm not sitting here and being like, okay, this is going to be the season where the killer gets away. I don't think that's going to happen, but I do kind of wonder, is there going to be some sort of ramification to solving the case this time that actually could linger moving into next season, where maybe they solve it, but they create some other problem for themselves that they can't really shake?
I actually think that if it is one of the billionaires, this is going to be the season where the killer gets away. But I just don't know if it really is. If it's anybody, it's Jay. I mentioned this in our review, but if it's the mayor will probably go down for it.
Yeah, I'm just really curious to see how these next few episodes play, because it's just really bizarre to begin with that there are only a few episodes left this season. With the way that it's all being told, it's really been rushing and rushing and rushing.
Yep.
But here we are, looking forward now to Only Murders in the Building, season 5, episode 8. What do you guys hope that we learn in Cuckoo Chicks? Who do you want to see at this ladies' night with Mabel? Give us your
Howard.
thoughts.
I need more Howard.
We
this
all need
season.
more Howard. Okay, well, let us know in the comments. Hit that subscribe button for more, and you can support us further by joining our Patreon. That link is in the description below. Thank you guys so
Thank you.
much, and we will see you here next time.